non-native to the US. They shouldn't be in the US. And they're astonishingly difficult to control with insecticides. What we're doing is using the mosquito against itself. We send out males because males don't bite. They mate with the females, and then the engineering, the clever engineering we've done is that the offspring will then die.
To Executive Director of Florida Keys Environmental Coalition, Barry Wray, who's not a fan of this idea. Barry, you know, it sounds like a pretty good deal. You don't have all those sprays that eventually these mosquitoes become immune to. It seems like it doesn't harm anyone. Why would you guys be opposed?
Well, there's a little bit of difference between science and vetting a product properly and then having somebody market a product. First off, what you may be interested to know is that all the things that Hayden Perry just said aren't necessarily accurate. All the mosquitoes don't die. First off, 50% of the mosquitoes live. That's just natural Mendelian genetics. So this market speak that they promote all sounds great, but there are some nuances that are important to understand. Another one is that this product has been vetted by the FDA under the Center for Veterinary Medicine using animal drug regulations. As dubious as it sounds, it is. It's animal drug regulations. They haven't done a very good job of proving their science through the regimen that it really needs to go to. That's the only thing we're objecting to. What really we believe could be a viable technology wouldn't end up being the best anyway. And what we're debating over is an experiment that would happen in the Keys.
Right.
So if this experiment goes forward, let's say it goes forward tomorrow, everything gets a green light and goes forward, it'll be 2 years before you can effectively use this as a product in mass use in the United States or anywhere else in the U.S.
But Barry, wouldn't we know sooner, though? In other words, we see what's happened in Brazil. We saw just how quickly this virus spread throughout Puerto Rico. And the notion now that the actual mosquito itself is in Florida, first time ever that we've had a travel warning for a state or an area in the United States. Aren't the risks so high that this mosquito could somehow spread even further that maybe it's worth a shot to try in that particular neighborhood?
Well, there's several other alternatives that we think are more promising. Things like Wolbachia, that's a natural bacteria that uses what we call cytoplasmic incompatibility, and that kills 100% of the larvae. And Wolbachia has never been associated with any human problem in its own right. It's never, and it's been around for a long, long time. You'll find it on 60 to 65% of mosquitoes worldwide. They also use Wolbachia to create a system with these mosquitoes where they infect both male and female. And when they do that, they can't carry Zika, dengue, chikungunya, West Nile, yellow fever. That's what happens. So to hear that GMOs are the panacea is really kind of a fallacy. It's a neat product. It should be one that's investigated and vetted properly to use for a tool. We're fully on board with that.
All right, I know that GMOs are a four-letter word to you guys, but there are times when the greater society, the risks are dangerous. I mean, we're playing with fire right now, and we may want to use every tool at our disposal. But we appreciate you coming on the show, Barry. Thank you very much.
Well, let me have one more say. I agree with you. GMOs are exactly the issue, and there is no proper vetting process for this technology. And there's a lot more GMOs
I guess what they would say is that because we have a potential epidemic on our hands where women in America could give birth to deformed children, maybe this would be the proper vetting solution. Maybe this is the ideal vetting solution. You know, maybe we could turn lemons into the lemonade, and this is the ideal time and place to perhaps to try this. It seems like there would be no harm or risk to human beings, and maybe we save a few people's lives in misery. That's what they're saying. I got to leave it here, buddy. We're finished on this part.
That's the difference.
We'll bring you back and discuss later, but this window is closing. Sorry.
Market.
All right, guys. By the way, Zika.
This question is from Mila Demir. Have there ever been any human clinical studies and animal testing conducted on the long-term effects of TTA in the bodies of girls and women of childbearing age, along with their infants?
No, not that I'm aware of, anyway.
But has not been tested?
No, it's not been tested. No.
In women that are pregnant or in babies either?